welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anne and this is All the Budgeting. On this channel, I do paycheck cash stuffings, side hustle cash stuffings, cash condensings, and then I always close out my budget every month, which includes a net worth calculation. So if that is interesting to you, I do hope that you consider subscribing, liking, commenting, all of those things. All right, so today I am doing an overdue December budget closeout. It is January 9th as I am filming this, and I am just behind. So before we do that though, I do want to do one thing. I've decided that I'm not going to be doing my 1 month ahead envelope in 2026. It's just not really I just don't see stuffing the bills that currently, I just keep in my checking account and they get paid automatically. So what I will do instead when I'm at that point is just build a larger emergency fund and have that, just kind of be my safety net. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the money currently in that 1 month ahead envelope, and I'm going to add it to extra week, because that is the better use for it, or not extra week, extra debt, because that is just the better use for it. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll get into counting my envelopes. So what I always do to start this video is I look at what I started the month with versus what I'm ending the month with, and just calculate, my the difference there. So let me do that. Okay, so starting in priority 1, emergency started with $250 and is ending with $253. So up 50. Health started with 50 and is ending with 100. So also went up 50. Extra week started with 300, ending with 100. I did have one of those extra weeks at the very end. So that went down 200. Extra debt started with 1,225. And if you missed it, I did make my final Chapter 13 bankruptcy payment. So a chunk of that is gone. That went to that payment, but now we are working on my next debt, which is I do have a 401k loan that I am paying back. So okay, so started with 1,225, ending with 1, 2, 50, 70, 90, 310, 315. So that went down 910. All right, home improvement started, or home maintenance, pardon me, started with 185, ended with 150.60. So that went down 15. Home improvement started with 195, ending with 1,220. So that went up 25. Car maintenance started with 75, ending with 100. Pet care started with 90 and is ending with 15. So that went down 75. Electronics started with 165, ending with 150, 70, 90. So up 25. Okay. Moving on to my priority 2 binder. So these first few envelopes I don't include because these are all more revolving. Okay, subscriptions started with 1,310. I can't remember if I took out, I did, okay. Okay, so 1,310 ending with 175 plus 140 plus 180 plus 40 plus 50 plus 50, 70, 85. So ending with 670, I did have one of my major annual charges happen at the end of the year. So minus 670, so that went down 640. Vacation went started at 105, ending with 120.30. So up 25. Christmas started with 1,000, ending with 10. Obviously Christmas happened. So that went down 990. Holiday dinner started with nothing, ending with 25. Gifts started with 105, ending with 50, 100, 120, 30. So 25. Okay. Let's see. Entertainment started with 25. It is currently empty. Clothes started with 15, ended with 25. Beauty started with 15, ended with 25. Miscellaneous started with 25, ended with 10. Planner stuff started with 85, ended with 50, 70, 95. Crafting started with 135, ended with 120.45. And as we saw, I got rid of that 1 month ahead fund. And so that started with 135. It is no longer here. Okay, so taxes started with 245, and then I know I added 75. No. I added 30. So it ended with 275. Sorry, I forgot to write that down at the end of the year. Okay, so that went up 30. Subscriptions started with $22.19. That has not changed. So we're not going to go through counting all that. Solo ads. Let's see, I think I might have taken out of this, perhaps. So solo ads started with 75. I guess I didn't, ended with 75. And then I think both of these, the last two are still empty. Yep, so. Okay, so I started the month with a total of 8,029 in all of my envelopes. So I'm going to speed this part up and count the ending balances to see what we're left with. So I will be right back. Okay, so we are ending with a total of 5,334. And so that is a difference of, so that went down 2,695. Not surprising with paying off the bankruptcy, Christmas, all of those things. So it's okay. All right, so I'm going to copy that amount and paste it over here to my net worth. So last month, my net worth was $304,537. And so I have pre-populated some of these amounts here. So as we just saw, I have 5,334 in my envelopes. My estimated house value based on Zillow.com is $262,900. My estimated trade-in value of my car is $18,500. And I currently have $152,188 in my 401k. So let's total up my assets. Okay, so a total of $438,922 in assets. Now for my liabilities, I'm down to 3 because again, I did pay off my bankruptcy. So I owe $109,732 on my mortgage. That is just the principal. I owe $13,515 on my 401k loan, and I owe $2,558 on a medical debt that is not getting charged interest. So my priority initially will be those 401k loans. There's 3 total that amount. I want to get those paid off, and then I will tackle the medical debt. So now let's total my liabilities. Okay, so total liabilities comes to $125,805. So now to get my new net worth, I'm going to subtract my liabilities from my assets. So $438,922 minus $125,805. So that is a new net worth of $313,117. And that was an increase. So this is why I always say this is a really important step, because if I had just based how I felt my month went on where my envelopes ended up in, I would be feeling really, really bad. But you can see my net worth went up almost $10,000. So to get the amount changed, I'm going to subtract last month's net worth from this month. So $313,117 minus $304,537. So that went up $8,580. To get my percentage change, I'm going to take the amount change and divide it by last month's net worth. So 8580 divided by 304, 537. So that went up 3%. And I am curious to know how much my net worth increased over the year. So if we take 313, 117 minus, go to January, minus 233, 785. Excuse me. My net worth overall increased more than $79,000 in 2026 while still paying off a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. So this is a really important step. Don't just take what is in your envelopes, what is, going in and out of your bank account as your overall net worth. I understand not everybody owns a home. Not everybody has, a car that is pretty high value. And to be clear, I drive a CRV, a Honda CRV. I just hardly drive. So it has really low mileage. So it has retained its value really well. And I paid it off. So it's all, if I paid it off, it would be all profit at this point. So, or if I traded it in, pardon me. So this is a really important step and I don't want you to sleep on that. Okay, so now I want to talk about my goals going into 2026. So I've mentioned that, I have this 401k loan. So that is going to be the first goal, is all of my, everything I was putting towards my bankruptcy is now going towards that. On top of, it was, I get an amount gets taken out of my paycheck every time. So, so that'll be a plus. As I pay it off, my paycheck will go back up. So, so it's really important to me that I do that. And then, once, as I mentioned, once that's paid off, then I will tackle the, medical debt. And so by my calculations, I should have only my mortgage left as my debt by like June, July. That's my hope. And then I will revisit my goals, because at that point, then I will likely increase my 401k contribution. And I have some goals of things I need to do around my house. My niece is getting married in November, so I will need to put aside for that. So we'll revisit the goals once I have, paid off the 401k loan and my medical debt, because that will be my first priority, is getting those paid off. One thing I am doing differently this year is I'm going to be doing several savings challenges. My goal with my savings challenges is that by the end of the year to have at least $5,000 saved within those savings challenges. So I'm doing the same thing I did last year with my fives and singles that are in my rollover. I'm just putting them in a pouch and we'll count them at the end of the year. In 2025, I got about $600 just doing that. So that was pretty simple. So that I'm doing that. I'm also doing a monthly challenge where I'll be saving $100 a month. So that'll be $1,200 for the year. And then I'm doing a $15 challenge and a $20 challenge. I'm also doing the 52-week challenge, but I'm doing it a little bit differently. And I'll show you when I do my paycheck stuffing, my first paycheck stuffing for January, what I mean by that. And then finally, I'm doing the 2026 and 2026 challenge. So again, with all that, I should hopefully have at least $5,000 saved by the end of the year. So I'm curious to know what your goals are, and what you're working towards paying off, if you're doing any challenges, any of that. So, all right, so that does it for today's video. Next up will be my first paycheck stuffing for January. So thanks everyone. Hope you're having a great week.